So joining me now is Problem Solvers Caucus co-chair Congressman Tom Reed. Congressman, thanks very much for joining me.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
So these are another significant benefit that Democrats want to add, in addition to the stimulus we already saw in December, the one that's already in the COVID relief bill that we're talking about now. This sounds like a really significant expansion of benefits. Do you think these are affordable?
Well, obviously, there's always an opportunity to come to an agreement, and we're willing to negotiate in good faith. But also understand with this $3,000 tax credit, it's also going to impact the existing $2,000 tax credit that's already there for children. And when you look at what they're doing to target this benefit, you're going to be increasing taxes on those that receive the existing $2,000 tax credit that's out there. The Washington Post had that commentary. And for somebody who ran on the idea of not raising taxes on those that were making $400,000 or less, I think that question has to be asked as we go through this debate. And that is something I don't think there's an answer for as I look at this proposal coming in front of our Committee of Ways and Means. And if you're going to raise taxes on people with that $2,000 tax credit that is existing by what you're doing with this $3,000 tax credit, I think someone's got to answer that question. But that being said, we need to be working together. That's why we, in the Problem Solvers Caucus, broke off $160 billion for immediate vaccine distribution and assistance. We should come to agreement easily on that. We got variants going on in the economy. We got things that are with the variants in the virus itself that need to be addressed. Let's work together to get this out the door ASAP.
And Congressman, I think the other thing that concerns people, and Larry Summers kind of hinted at this in his op-ed, others have too, even on the Democratic side, but certainly on the Republican side, is that these big payments are not necessarily very well targeted, are they? We've seen with the first round of stimulus checks last year, a huge number of them were saved by people. I mean, obviously, the very poor people need that money to pay for basic necessities. But the vast majority of people who were in work simply saved that money. So it wasn't really very effective in terms of getting money out into the economy that people spend in a way that would stimulate the economy.
Now you're getting it, and that's where I think the American people are. They recognize, as Republicans and Democrats, that our fellow Americans need help and that they need relief. But you can do this in a targeted way, especially just when we got $900 billion out the door. The Problem Solvers Caucus came together, got that taken care of on December 27th this year, and just this past year. And that money's still going out of the door here in Washington, D.C. So let's be smart. And that's what Larry Summers, remember, he's an economic advisor of President Clinton, President Obama, and he was a Treasury Secretary that really gets it now. He's understanding that, look, don't go too far. Make sure you get that Goldilocks type of position. And I got to tell you, I think he's onto something here. And there's Republicans that want to work with President Biden, that want to come up with a targeted package that can be reasonable and give the relief to our fellow Americans that we need. That's where I think we just need to be smart. And don't worry about the politics. We're in an emergency. We're in a crisis. Let's work together.
Thanks, Congressman. It looks like Democrats are split on key elements of the COVID relief plan, including who should be eligible to get the checks. Bernie Sanders, for example, has said he opposes cutting the income gap for the $1,400 stimulus. Just listen to it for a second.
From a political point of view, it is absurd to be telling working class people, somebody who has a decent union job, they're making $55,000, $60,000. Sorry, you're not eligible for the program. Makes no sense to me at all, nor do I think it makes sense to the American people.
Congressman, you heard that, and you've heard what other Democrats have said. It sounds as though there is significant support among Democrats for a much wider stimulus. How is the government eventually going to pay for all of this additional stimulus?
No, exactly. I think that's where recognizing that as you do reconciliation and try to do this as a one-party only and not look to reasonable Republicans like us in the Problem Solvers Caucus that want to work together, find common ground, and say 80% is a victory, not a defeat. I think you're going to see as we go through this process more and more of us stepping up. Let's put the American people first, and what this divide that you're seeing from Bernie Sanders and others start to come into focus. There's going to be a need for us to step up and have a conversation. And to the President Biden, we want you to succeed. As a Republican who believes in America, we want the president to succeed. We wanted President Trump to succeed, because when the presidency wins and when the Congress works, America wins. That's what we should be focused on as we go forward.
And Congressman, just briefly, are you getting indication? You say you're willing to support the president. You're getting indication that the president, the White House, that maybe moderate Democrats are willing to come to meet you on this?
They are, and that's why we were able to break out this $160 billion in the Problem Solvers Caucus.
Right.
We got to bipartisan support. We got to our 75% consensus. We were able to say 56 members of us came together, say $160 billion vaccine relief, get it out the door ASAP. The White House has met with us. The olive branch goes to the presidency because it's time to set party politics and partisanship behind us. We were in an emergency. We got 200,000 potential deaths over the next 2 months. We cannot break down. We need to prevent those deaths. Let's get the vaccine. Let's get that out there and then find the common ground as we go through this process.
Congressman Tom Reed, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
It's good to be with you. Thank you.